Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to tackle one of those things that can drive English learners crazy pronunciation. But the secret isn't about memorizing a bunch of textbook rules, it's about feeling the music of the language.
So let's get real. You've put in the hours, right? You've studied the grammar, you know the vocabulary, but when you actually speak, something just feels off. It's an incredibly common frustration, so I want you to know you are definitely not alone. For a lot of people, this is the final hurdle on the way to feeling truly fluent.
And this brings us to a really important shift in how you think about this. The goal here is not to erase your accent. Your accent is part of your identity. The real key is to get a feel for the natural rhythm and melody of English. You see, English is what's called a stress-timed language, and once you get that, it's a total game changer. All right, ready to dive in? We're going to start by unlocking your new secret weapon for sounding way more natural: word stress. This is where the real transformation begins.
So, what on earth is word stress? Well, it's basically making one syllable in a word the star of the show. We emphasize it by making it a tiny bit longer, a little louder, and hitting a slightly higher pitch. Think of it like the main beat in a song. It's what gives English its unique rhythm.
And trust me, this is so important. This isn't just about sounding nice, it's about being understood. Your listener's brain is subconsciously wired to hear stress in certain places. If you put it in the wrong spot and say Arabic, like in this example, you risk being completely misunderstood. They might literally hear a rabbit instead. In fact, word stress is so powerful, it can completely change a word's meaning. Take the word present. Stress that first syllable, present, and you've got a gift. But shift that stress over to the second syllable, present, and now it's a verb, meaning to give something. Same letters, different music, totally different meaning. Now, here's a super simple rule that will make all of this way easier. The stress, that musical emphasis, always lands on a vowel sound. A-E-I-O-U. It's never on a consonant. So from now on, just listen for the vowel that's carrying the beat. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Oh no, more rules? But hang on. Think of these less as strict rules and more as common patterns. Once you learn to recognize them, I promise you'll start hearing them everywhere. Let's take a look at a few of the most important ones. This chart right here is basically your cheat sheet. Let's walk through it. For most two-syllable nouns and adjectives, the stress is on the first syllable. Table, happy. But for verbs, it usually flips to the second one. Begin, relax. With common endings like tation or ick, you just stress the syllable right before it, nutrition. And for compound nouns, the first part gets the emphasis, blackbird. See? There's a clear logic to the music. Okay, theory is one thing, but practice is everything. So how do you actually apply this stuff in the real world? Well, the perfect tool is probably already in your pocket: podcasts. They are your free, on-demand practice studio. So why are podcasts so awesome for this? First, you're hearing real, authentic, natural English, not that slow, over-the-top speech you find in language lessons. You can pick any topic you're interested in, which keeps you motivated. And most importantly, you have complete control to pause, rewind, and listen again and again. The trick is finding what I call your Goldilocks podcast. It can't be so easy that you get bored, and it can't be so hard that you get frustrated and just quit. You're looking for that sweet spot, the one that's just right, where you understand most of what's going on, but you're still being challenged. And that target, that sweet spot, is about 80% comprehension. This is the best learning zone. You're comfortable enough to follow the conversation, but you're also challenged enough to pick up new words and really internalize the rhythm without feeling overwhelmed. Now, a quick warning: just having a podcast playing in the background while you do other things isn't really going to cut it. For real progress, you have to turn your listening time into an active workout for both your brain and your mouth. Exactly. Passive listening is just background noise. To truly retrain your ear for the rhythm of English, you have to be an active participant. That means no multitasking, just you, the audio, and your complete focus for a few minutes each day. And that brings us to the single most powerful practice technique I can teach you. It's called shadowing. The process is so simple. First, you listen to a short phrase. Second, you pause the audio and you repeat it out loud. And third, and this is the most important part, you try to perfectly match the speaker's music, the pitch, the rhythm, the stress. You're literally following them like a shadow.
And to make this workout even better, here's your toolkit. If a transcript is available, use it. Read along so you can connect the sounds you're hearing with the way the words are spelled. Use your phone to record yourself. Then listen to your version right after the original. This is where you'll really hear what you need to work on. And finally, just repeat. Practice that same phrase until your rhythm really starts to mirror the speaker's.
So, now you have the framework. The secret isn't changing who you are. It's about mastering the rhythm. And your studio isn't some fancy classroom. It's any podcast you choose. The only question left is, how are you going to get out there and start making the music of English your own?